Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this lecture we are going to continue the same thing which already was going on. Okay, so let's begin without wasting the time. So topic number 21, rise of the Ashikaga government. Okay, so after the Kamakura government, the Ashikaga government was established in Japan. Okay, when after Kamakura government. Okay, so during this period military rule continued. Okay, military rule was continued, which was already going on in that like in Japan, but political control became less centralized compared to the earlier time. Basically क्या होता था ना, पहले इससे पहले जो था कामाकुरा गवर्नमेंट के टाइम पर जो लाइक जो सोसाइटी थी या फिर जो शक्तियाँ थी, ठीक है, बेसिकली जो पॉलिटिकल कंट्रोल था वो सेंट्रलाइज था. ठीक है, वो सेंट्रल का जो गवर्नमेंट होता था वो सारी चीज़ डिसीजन लेगा. बट अब क्या हो गया, वो थोड़ा थोड़ा कमज़ोर होने लग गया. वो रीजनल पावर एंड द लोकल रूलर्स gained more influence, which like strengthened local administration. This period was important for the development of new political structure and social changes in Japan. तो बेसिकली अब क्या हुआ कि जो छोटे छोटे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन थे ना, उनको अच्छी पावर मिलने लग गई. ठीक है, जो कि थोड़े बहुत लाइक कि पहले नीचे थे, अब उनको अच्छी पावर मिल गई. और उसके थ्रू क्या हुआ कि दिस पीरियड बिकेम इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ new political structure in Japan. Okay, for example, we can see that Ashikaga government was started in 1336, second major phase of the military rule. Okay, now the topic number 22, development of regional powers. So during the Ashikaga period, the importance of the local rulers and the military leaders increased. Okay, this weakened political unity and the many independent power centers developed in different regions. Okay, and local rulers like increased their controls, making Japanese politics more competitive and complex. So basically like at that time local rulers were getting influenced, okay, in the society, in the politics, mainly the military leaders and the lords. Okay, regional lords like lords was like very famous persons at that time. Lords were like very powerful person in the societies. Okay, so for example you can see that daimyo, powerful regional lord. Okay, daimyo was one of the person, powerful regional lords. So and the second we can see that sengoku period was the period of regional conflicts. Okay, now the topic number 23, social changes in Japan. So along with political changes, Japan's societies also experienced major information. New social groups emerged, and the trade, agriculture and economic activities expanded. So this changes like affected the traditional power structure and the increased the influence of the new classes. Okay, we can see for example merchant classes like become economically powerful. For example, merchant class become economically powerful, and the samurai class remained socially and politically influenced. Okay, and the next topic is trade and economic development. So during this period trade and the market expanded in Japan. Okay, what? Trade and market expanded in Japan. Both local and external trade increased, which strengthened like economic activities. Okay, the growth of trade encouraged and the development of cities and brought new social and the economic changes in Japan at that time. Okay, for example you can see the development of markets, increased economics activities, and port trades like encouraged foreign trades. So basically at that time the rulers of Japan, they increased their strength economically in the economic activities. Okay, and they they did the growth of trade. Okay, they developed their cities and the they developed their ports for trade, okay, and they also developed their markets for trade, okay. Now the 25 point number 25 is urbanization in Japan. Like with the growth of trade, okay, with the growth of trade, cities expanded in Japan. Urban centers became like important places for the administrations and trade and the culture activities. Urbanization increased economic development and made Japanese society more organized and active. For example, you can see that Kyoto, cultural and the administrative centers, and commercial cities, centers of the economic activities. So basically, like urbanization of the Japan was based on trade and the agriculture and the economic developments, okay. And next topic we have the establishment of the Tokugawa government. So basically, the Tokugawa government was an important period of the stability and the political control in Japan history. It maintained peace for a long time, okay, and the strengthened the administration. And this period developed a centralized political system and maintained the influence of the samurai class. Samurai class was the part of military, okay. They was a part of military. So basically, what happened, the Tokugawa rule brought stability at that time, stability for a long time for peace, okay. And they make all things centralized, okay. They make all the power centralized. So features we can see that first, peace, okay, they maintain the peace for a long time, and they make the strong administration, centralized control, okay. And second thing, samurai influence remained strong, okay. At that time, samurai influence was very high, okay. For example, we can see that Tokugawa shogunate 1603, okay, establishment of the military rule in 1603, and Edo period of the peace and stability. This period is also called Edo period. Now the point number 27, Tokugawa administrative system. So basically, in this system, what happened, the Tokugawa rules organized and controlled the administrative system effectively, okay. The established control over local rulers and the maintained political stability. The main aim of this system was to strengthen the central authority and create effective administration throughout the Japan, okay. So basically, Tokugawa rulers created the strong administration, okay, and main goal was control local rulers, okay. Special policy was Senkin Kotai system, okay. Senkin Kotai system was the special policy of that time, policy to control regional lords, okay. Regional lords, the person, those who are powerful locally, okay. So and the purpose was to keep regional ruler under the control, okay. Now the next point is point number 28, isolation policy of the Japan. Isolation policy of the Japan. So during the Tokugawa period, Japan followed a limited foreign contacts, okay, policy known as a shakokoku, okay, isolation policy, which is called isolation policy. The purpose was to control internal influence and the maintain political stability. This policy kept Japan away from foreign influence for a long time, but also helped strengthen internal development and social orders. So basically, इस टाइम पे क्या हुआ कि इसको आइसोलेशन पीरियड क्यों बोला जाता है, या आइसोलेशन पॉलिसी क्यों बोला गया इसको. So during the Tokugawa period, Japan followed a limited foreign contacts, okay. They make the rule to follow only very important contacts to the foreign governments or the foreigners. policy known as the name of Sakoko, okay, in English isolation policy. So the purpose was the purpose was very clear. First, control foreign influence, okay, ताकि कोई फॉरेन चीज़ें जो है ना वो उनके लोगों को इन्फ्लुएंस ना कर दे, ठीक है. अगर ऐसा होता सो लाइक माइट बी दे कैन लूज देयर सेंट्रलाइज्ड पावर, हाँ. सो इसलिए एंड मेंटेन पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटीज, ओके. लाइक however we can see that internal development continued, okay. बेशक उन्होंने जो था अपने आप को आइसोलेट कर लिया था बाकी चीज़ों से, बट स्टिल they developed themselves, okay, they developed itself. Now the point number 29, development of Japanese economy. So growth in agriculture, trade and production strengthened the Japanese economy. Markets expanded and economic activities became more diverse, okay. Like this development increased urban growth, encouraged the rise of merchants group and the broad changes in the social structure. Like basically what happened here in this Japanese economic growth through the agriculture, production and trade. Before, what was going on, that people were doing the farming and all the things just for living, okay, सिर्फ अपने लिए करते थे. But after like day by day they understand and they started to do these things for the urbanization, for growth, okay, for urban growth. So like they were especially depend on the agriculture, production and trade. And effects, we can say that urban growth was happened, merchant class become like stronger, okay. Now for example we can see that agriculture development increase in production, okay, increase in production, and merchant class became like economically stronger, okay. So now the 30 point was point number 30, education and intellectual development. So during the Tokugawa period, education expanded and new center of the knowledge developed. Study, writing and intellectual activities made Japanese society more organized and aware. Education increased knowledge, ideas and social understanding. So basically education expanded in Tokugawa's Japan, okay. In the Tokugawa period, education was like a very important part at that time. If we can see the effects, like knowledge increased, people became knowledgeable, society became organized, new ideas developed. For example, we can see that Trakoya schools, educational centers for the common people, and convention ideas influenced education and more values, okay. Now the point number 31, Meiji Restoration. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 was one of the most important event in Japanese history, okay. This transformation changed Japan from a feudal system into a modern nation. After this, like major political, economic and social reform were introduced. Modern education, industries and strong central government were developed, which helped Japan become a powerful modern country, sorry. So basically what happened there, in that time, like the Meiji Restoration of the 1868, like Meiji Restoration time was 1868, you need to remember this. So that was one of the biggest turning point in Japan history, okay. Like before Meiji, Japan followed a feudal system, okay. Japan followed a feudal system, but after Meiji, Japan started become a modern nation, okay. Like major reform was political reform, economic reform, educational reform and industrial growth. So that was like there was many reformation things, okay, like which helped Japan become a powerful modern country. Okay, nowadays you can see that Japan is in the list of like powerful countries in the world. Okay, powerful countries means in the industrializations and the urbanization and all. Now the point number 32, modernization of Japan. So during the Meiji period, Japan modernized its industries, administrations, education and military system. So Japan adopted new technologies and institutions from Western countries but modified them according to its own needs. Okay, these reforms helped Japan develop a modern and powerful nations. Okay, basically like previously also we learned the same thing, right? कि जो जापान है उन्होंने कई सारी लैंग्वेज हो गई या फिर और भी चीज़ें चाइना से उन्होंने अडॉप्ट करी एंड दे चेंज दैट थिंग्स अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर नीड्स. ओके, okay, now that we can see the example, industrialization, development of factories and production, and the modern army like military reform based on Western technologies. Now let's see the modernization of Japan. So during the Meiji period, Japan modernized its industries, okay, administrations, education and military system. Japan adopted like new technologies and institutions from Western countries but modified them according to its own needs. Okay, these reforms like helped Japan to develop as a modern and powerful nation. Basically like have you remembered like previously we already discussed on the same thing हाँ कि उस टाइम पर भी जो जापान है उसने लैंग्वेज हो गया या ट्रेडिशंस हो गया उन्होंने चाइना से अडॉप्ट किया था एंड ग्रेजुअली दे चेंज दैट थिंग्स अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर ओन नीड्स, राइट. हियर दे आर डूइंग द सेम समवेयर. ओके, तो बेसिकली उस टाइम पे क्या हुआ कि उन्होंने जो इंडस्ट्रीज थे, ठीक है, और जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशंस थे और जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम था या फिर मिलिट्री सिस्टम था उसको लाइक दे मेक दैट थिंग स्ट्रॉन्ग, है ना, दे स्ट्रॉन्ग डेट एंड जापान अडॉप्टेड न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज और उसको क्या करा, दे लाइक दे ट्रांसफॉर्म दैट थिंग्स अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर नीड्स. ओके, दे मॉडिफाइड दैट अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर नीड्स and these reforms helped like Japan to become like powerful nation. For example, we can see that industrialization, development of the factories and productions, and modern army like military reforms based on the Western technologies. Okay, now the point number 33, industrial development. So industrialization brought major changes to Japanese economy. Okay, the establishment of factories increased in production. Okay, and development of new technologies helped Japan become a modern economic power. Industrial like growth increased employment, developed cities and expanded Japan's importance, okay, in the global trade. So basically what happened here in this like in this topic, industrial development, here industrialization changed Japan economy. Okay, industrialization became like a very good for Japan. Okay, and major development happened was factories increased, okay, production increased, technologies improved. Okay, and if we can see the effect, so effect was employment increased, cities developed, trade expanded. Okay, now the next topic is military modernizations. ठीक है, military modernization के बारे में पढ़ें तो Japan build a modern military system. Okay, Japan build a like modern military systems. Okay, military organization, training and technologies were strengthened, which increased Japan defense power, and this reform helped Japan become a influential nation at the international level. So basically यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, Japan built a modern military system. Improvement was better training and better organization and modern technologies. Okay, if we can see the result, Japan become a stronger internationally. Okay, for example, we can see that modern army based on the Western technologies and training. Military reforms in important foundation of the Japan's power. Now the point number 35, development of nationalism. So in modern Japan, nationalism became an important idea. Okay, national unity and strong modern state and the political power were promoted through a nationalist ideas. During the Meiji period, nationalism played an important role in strengthening the Japan's development and international identity. So basically what happened there, nationalism became a powerful idea for at the time of Meiji period. Okay, people started thinking of themselves as one of United Nations. Okay, United Nations. So goal was simple: national unity, strong government, and national progress. Okay, they want to improve their they want to develop their nation. Okay, indirectly. And if we can we see the result, Japan developed a stronger identity. Okay, now the next topic is topic number 36, imperialism in Japan. Okay, so we are going to learn about this. After modernization, Japan began expanding its political and economic influence. Japan adopted imperialist politics of the strengthen its position and power in Asia. So this helped Japan emerge as a regional power and increase its influence in international politics. So basically what happened, after becoming a stronger, Japan started to expanding its influence. Okay, if we can the imperialism means extending political and economic power over other areas. Okay, imperialism means the expanding political and economic power over the areas, over the world, we can see. And goal was simple: first, increase influence; second, gain resources; and third, become stronger in Asia. Okay, Japan wants to become stronger in Asia, in Asia. For example, we can see the Japanese imperialism policy of expansion and influence, and expansion in Asia, growth of Japanese political power. Now the point number 37, Japan and Western influence. So during the modernization, Japan adopted Western technologies, education and administrative models. However, Japan changed these influences according to its own culture and requirements. Okay, this balance helped Japan achieve modernization while maintaining the culture identity. Okay, for example, we can see that Western technologies used in industries and education, and Japanese culture maintained along with a modernization. Basically they maintained their culture with a modernization. They changed themselves, but they didn't change their modern. Okay, they didn't change their cultures. Now the next topic is modern Japanese society. So economic and the political changes brought major transformation in Japanese society. Okay, expansion of education, urbanization, and development of new social groups created a modern Japanese identity. These changes helped Japanese become an organized, educated and modern societies. So basically at that time, like economic and political reform changed society. Okay, and changed was urbanization. Okay, urbanization, better education and new social groups. For result, like if we can see the result, so Japan became more organized and modern. For example, we can see that urbanization, growth of cities and modern lifestyle. ठीक है, urbanization मतलब क्या होता है, growth करना basically. Expansion of education, so growth of knowledge and society. Now the topic number 39, global rise of Japan. So due to modernization and industrial development, Japan emerged as an important power in the world politics and economy. And in a short period, like Japan made rapid progress in technology, industry and military power. So this development made Japan a modern and influential nation. Like basically Japan ने जो था ना, they like maintained everything and they became like very influential and very strong and very developed country in a very short time. Okay, so that's why like they got the influence even on the nation at the national level. Okay, international level. For example, we can see that industrial development, foundation of the economic power, and modern Japan we can see that emerge as a global power. Okay, now this is the last and final topic of this lecture. Okay, topic number 40, formation of modern Japan. So political reforms, economic growth, education, industries and social changes created a foundation of modern Japan. Okay, this transformation changed Japan from a traditional feudal system into modern nation. Okay, this reforms helped Japan progress in science, technology and administrations. For example, we can see that Meiji Restoration main foundation of मॉडर्न जापान. अगर मेजी रेस्टोरेशन के टाइम पर अगर चीज़ें सही नहीं हुई होती तो मे बी इसको और टाइम लगता, राइट. एंड द सेकेंड थिंग, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन एंड एजुकेशन. व्हेन दे स्टार्टेड देयर लाइक ग्रोथ, फर्स्ट वाज द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, एंड सेकेंड एजुकेशन. because of education they got the right ideas in their minds. Okay, they got the things, they got the opportunities, or we can say the new thoughts of of growth. Okay, important reason for a development. Now the final super revision BHIE 142. Okay, so यहाँ पे हमारे basically जो होता है हमारा पूरा लेक्चर ख़त्म है. ओके, नाउ इफ़ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन प्लीज़ comment, please like write your comment in the comment box. I'll surely give you answer. And for the free PDF of notes, you can join our Telegram channel. Okay, I'll provide the link in the description box. Okay, and this is a like most important long answer question. Like अगर आपने इसको कवर कर लिया तो यू कैन कवर अराउंड लाइक 50% ऑफ योर एग्ज़ाम. हाँ, मैं पूरा नहीं बोलूँगा. ओके, बट यू कैन गेट लाइक सम क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस और रिलेटेड फ्रॉम दिस. ओके, तो ये आपकी प्रैक्टिस के लिए है 10 क्वेश्चन. अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपको इनके भी आंसर मिले या फिर मैं आपको ये क्वेश्चंस में आंसर के साथ रिवाइज करवाऊँ, सो यू कैन कमेंट. ओके, बिफोर एग्ज़ाम. सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग. सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास.